welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. I'm Ryan.
I am Josh.
And
It's good to be back.
We're back in your ear holes.
Don't interrupt me when I'm talking about myself.
Tell him, Josh. Tell him why it's good to be back.
Because it's been a while, and we're going to be talking about good shit today.
Good stuff. Good movies that we went to the movie theater to
Indeed.
watch.
We both went to the theater, and we sat in seats, and
We watched all the previews.
We watched all the previews. We were there for all of it.
I got my popcorn delivered by a man in a bag.
Yeah.
The man wasn't in a bag. The popcorn was
No,
in a
the
bag.
man was in the bag.
Yeah.
The man only wore a bag.
I always get
Said snack time.
I always get the bag, Josh. That's what you need to know about me.
Okay.
Do you remember all of the previews that we watched?
They were all terrible.
Well, there actually wasn't as much as I thought there would be.
No,
they
there
put
was
crypto
no.
commercials and like Verbo commercials before the movies now,
Yeah.
and it's like this is getting out of hand.
I think maybe there was a response. Maybe the Twitter served a purpose for once,
Maybe.
and it benefited me, and that's why it served a purpose.
I mean,
for
I
once.
hit up Cinemark on Twitter all the time, and then they ended up just blocking me. And then, and then after stealing over $100 of my money
Yeah.
and not giving me any good explanation as to why,
Well, sometimes stuff happens. man.
yeah, and they brought back Wow, That's Hot Dog, but only for Fast 9.
Yeah.
And then it was gone again.
And then it was ice cubes and popcorn.
back to
again.
ice cubes and popcorn.
And no one put. This is what that commercial bothers me. Popcorn first.
Yeah.
And then they dump ice
Ice.
and soda. So are we led to believe that this is all the same receptacle?
No, I think off camera, like off frame, underneath, there was a hand holding the thing. That's where the popcorn went, and they slid it over and brought the cup over, and then the ice and the soda went into that.
That is a lightning fast slide, and if that is a theater employee doing it, I want him at my.
Well, I was gonna say they only get the best of the best to film those.
Yeah. Giant hands for giant popcorn.
I don't remember any of the previews at all. Maybe there was one for Morbius, right?
There was one for. No, we were actually Morbius free on this one. The Lost City was one of them.
Oh yeah, the one that I would have wished was. Oh, that's right. You know what? No, fuck. Yeah, The Lost City, which I wish was just dog.
Looks like a early 2000s Matthew McConaughey movie. It looks like a Sandra Bullock movie.
Yeah,
it's
it looks
a Sandra Bullock movie.
It looks fucking terrible, but I forgot about the big one, the Pedro Pascal, Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage movie. Which at first I was
God.
like, okay, all right.
Yeah, no, I was on board for it, and then the rest of the trailer happened, and I was like, no, I already watched the interview.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I've seen the interview, but
Thank
now it's with a meme of Nicolas Cage playing himself.
See, and this one will be regarded as good because he's a fake person and a real
He's
person.
playing the fake version of himself.
Well, and Pedro Pascal is not an actual tyrant.
True, that is true. Yeah, it's not. It's based. It's fiction, right?
Yes.
Although
I think he's supposed to be like a Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, and
Banana Republic sort of guy.
I watched a little bit of stuff for Moon Knight.
Did you? Okay.
Had nothing to do. You brought up Pedro Pascal.
I was going to say we watched or we talked about Moon Knight in the last episode,
Yeah.
right? This is when we talked about the Beer Wolf. I was so like I didn't care so much.
And thank you for that. All the guys that listen to our podcast, they give me shit about me having problems with werewolves. And I'm like, I don't have problems with werewolves. I have problems with Ryan.
I didn't make the Beer Wolf, man. I'm just calling it out like I see it. Anyway,
No,
Moon Knight.
I watched a couple clips of Moon Knight. They're floating around the internet
there's
right
some
now.
clips.
And dude, interesting.
Yeah.
Little more horror elements going on in it, and I think it's gonna be different than everything else.
It could be. I mean, it's different as Marvel
As different as
property
Marvel is ever
stuff
going
gets.
to be.
Yeah. That's true.
They don't take risks, and now is the time to make the riskiest choices. And that's why I'm like, yeah. Oh, we watched the Doctor Strange trailer. That was also in
the
there.
Doctor Strange trailer was up there.
And I was like,
Yeah.
All right.
I just think it looks. I'm like, I'm not overly excited, but I'm like, I think it looks cool.
Yeah, no. See, me,
I
I'm
wanna
just
know
like,
what's going on.
It looks fine.
Why are there Ultron robots? What's Patrick Stewart doing? Even though they won't admit that that's Patrick Stewart, even though I know what he sounds like.
No, and it's super funny because even Patrick Stewart's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm busy filming Picard.
yeah, right, bruh. Come on, old money. We know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just like, I wonder what wacky shit they're gonna do, right?
I don't think it's going to be if it's actually Xavier, I am going to be confused and surprised. It is the multiverse, so maybe it's Xavier from the X-Men verse.
Could be. I mean, let's face it, Wanda's in it, right?
Yeah.
And
she exists.
and they brought in fucking not
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
But he wasn't even Quicksilver.
But he wasn't. That's what makes it a little confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can backpedal from that.
I was going to say, do you feel like they're going to try to backtrack over it?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's why we didn't do Quicksilver.
It's just like you were fucking with his mind so much that he was like, whoa.
Yeah, so they can like fuck with the fanboys and be like, no, we really do plan these out years in advance.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah. And that's about it. Everything else, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's going to be like, I have to save reality, and I'm eventually going to come up with a really smart plan.
Yeah.
And then it'll be over, and everything will be set back to status quo, right?
Yeah, but I'm like, what's weird now? Like, he opened some doors, and the spider guys came out.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that was pretty much it for that.
Yeah, but it
Like, I'm like, is it, well, it depends on like where he fucked up, because what's his name is like, yo, man, you opened a door and now everything's
smart
screwed.
enough people noticed that this was happening, now they're going out of their way to try to fuck with reality, right?
Yeah.
Because you open their eyes, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm just like, so does that mean like, is it because, if it's because of what happened in Spider-Man, I think that's kind of lame, because it wasn't really that, it seemed bad. But it didn't seem, but they fixed it. Like, everything was fine by the end of that movie. And I don't understand how it would tie into that. I'm wondering if it more ties into the fact that he went everywhere.
I understand.
And tried to, in Infinity War, when he went everywhere. And did that fuck everything up?
But I also understand that he fixed it, but people in those other realities now are open, now may have known that the multiverse exists and now want to fuck with it themselves, which in that now he has to deal with that.
And
It's a
apparently everybody that
repercussion.
wants to fuck with it is just him.
That's probably just one of the exact. No, I know. Everything's always usually his fault, right? Like, and then he's like, I gotta fix it.
Yeah.
It's the time machine episode of what if, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna pull in parts of that, I'm sure.
All I'm excited for is the what if Doctor Strange showing up, honestly. I mean, zombie Doctor Strange looks kind of interesting. But,
Sure.
Other than that, I'm just kind of like,
He's just gonna be doing multiverse
it looks
stuff.
fine. It looks fine.
If they want to be like, look, this is Ultron did something that wasn't just be weird.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, oh, look, it's Xavier, but it's probably not, right?
No.
It probably is.
They might not even say his name, but he's in a wheelchair.
Right.
It's like, oh.
It's like, oh.
They call me the professor.
God.
Engage. Oh, I'm throwing him out there today.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, whatever. I'm into whatever goofy stuff they're doing, right? It's a new movie.
It looks cool.
And I'm just like, they're not just going to fuck around with who's going to destroy Earth, right? At least it's like, multiverse fucking weird stuff.
Yeah, no, now
All
they're
right,
not destroying
fine.
the Earth. They're destroying reality.
Yeah. Whatever, At least it's different. I'm not saying destroying reality and destroying the world aren't the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, one is a byproduct of one, so.
One comes with different challenges. You don't have to get rid of the blue
the
alien
blue beam.
laser.
Yeah.
There's at least a little more involved in deconstructing reality.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm trying to be excited for it, but like
You
so
don't need
far
to be
the only
excited,
the
right?
only
I'm
one
just
that I was excited for so far was Eternals, and it paid off for me.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently everybody else hated it. And I was like, well, there you go. Now we're never gonna get anything different.
Yeah, Eternals was good. And that was about destroying the world as well.
Yeah. No big blue light though, just
no.
big robot hand.
Big robot hand. Yeah. The Earth is an egg.
It's gonna hatch my baby.
Anyway, that there's not a lot on the horizon, but right now, over the past little bit, we've got a lot.
Oh, and Fantastic Beasts was in there.
Sure,
and then there was like 2 other ones. I can't remember what they are.
I forgot about the Fantastic Beasts one. Oh, Sonic 2, which of course everybody loves Sonic, dude.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be worse than the first one.
Oh,
But
of course, that's the way it goes.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. It's gonna be slightly worse, or it'll be the same.
Yeah,
and
right,
everybody
which is
will be
just
pumped that it's
okay.
the same. Yeah. and that's fine because Sonic was fine. I liked Sonic. I thought it was okay. I didn't like it as much as Detective Pikachu.
No.
But I did like Sonic.
No, I don't think Mortal Kombat or Sonic came close to Detective Pikachu.
Mortal Kombat, definitely not. Sonic, Sonic, I'll hear an argument for. If somebody out there liked Sonic more than Detective Pikachu, I would definitely hear them out.
You're
But if
like,
you come up
okay,
to me and are just like, Mortal Kombat's better than both of them, I'm gonna throw you out of my house, take you outside by the scruff of your neck, like the rapscallion you are.
Well, Josh,
Make you eat a sandwich with no mustard or condiments on it.
let's just cut to the chase, okay? There's a lot of garbage coming out soon,
Yeah.
but a lot of stuff that has been pushed back has started to come out.
Dune 2 started production.
That's true, but that's over a year away, right?
Oh yeah, no,
At
that's
least.
like 2023, 2024.
yeah, holiday 2023.
Yeah.
Speaking of Harry Potter, though, Josh, you were talking about crime. What are they? The fucking. I always want to call the second one this third one. Is it like Dumbledore secrets?
The crimes of the secrets of Grindelwald, the secrets of Dumbledore.
Yeah, right. Whatever. They showed off that new Harry Potter game, and I'm like,
Oh, that MMO that was supposed
no,
to
not
come
the
out?
MMO. It's just the open world. Like, it's,
yeah.
just, You're a student at Hogwarts. And
Hogwarts.
shit's going wrong. Or
Dude,
some
I
shit.
completely forgot about that.
Flying
game.
around on a broom. They showed like 20 minutes of gameplay stuff, and it's coming out this it was like on a Sony State of Play.
Oh shit.
It's coming out this holiday season, so November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't look like it's gonna set the world on fire, but I'm just kind of like,
No,
I can't believe they haven't done one of these yet. But that being said, I can't believe they haven't done like a Mandalorian Star Wars game yet, or any Star Wars game out. Like, don't get me
We
wrong.
got Fallen Jedi.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jedi Fallen Order is good, right?
Fallen Order.
And is real good, but like the fact that they haven't done more of like an open, just kind of be in this world and do what you want sort of thing. Like that was more of a linear story path.
Well, Ryan, because it's gonna be an open world, but you know what that open world is? Tatooine.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean. It seems like this Lego Star Wars saga game is that game, which is crazy to me. But anyway, it's just crazy that they finally took this property and didn't just make a movie game, right?
Yeah.
It took them this fucking long to just be like, how about you're just a person in Harry Potter world? And it's like, that sounds cool. They finally did it. And it looks like that. Looks not the coolest. It looks pretty good. I'm like, nice.
My plan is to go, and then when they do the Sorting Hat, I don't show up.
Yeah.
I'm like super late for it,
it
and then I never get put into a house, and I just play the rest of the game
So they
as a wild card.
the setup, and I don't understand. I'm sure it'll make sense.
Yeah, probably doesn't matter.
I'm
at
sure it'll
all,
make
but-
sense when they in context, right? But they're like, you're a 5th year and you're new here, and I'm like, they just let you come to Hogwarts late.
Yeah, dude. No, you're a transfer from
Right.
the American school.
Sure, yeah, exactly.
Or the
I mean, it is the late 1800s. Shit's different.
oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I didn't know when it was set.
yeah. They had to set it before, like, I guess this is set more Fantastic Beasts era, right? But that's 1920s,
That's
right?
early 1900s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so a little bit before.
I think
that.
it's after World War One or right before
Yeah,
World War
I believe
I.
so, because they were talking about wizards in World War One and shit, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is goofy, and I like it. I don't know. Anyway, but they're like, you're a 5th year, and you got to get in your sorting hat, and they're like, you can be any of the houses. And I was like, do you just pick, or are they gonna make me like answer questions like a fucking Harry Potter quiz?
I was gonna say
on
like
which house
like
I get
on
in.
what was it? Potter.com.
Pottermore, yeah.
Pottermore, yeah.
I have so many questions of like why this game's gonna be kind of dumb.
Yeah. Well, because people are gonna be like you're gonna run into the people getting pissed off
That
because
are so
they're in
adamant.
there and
I
they're doing.
am a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw, I'm a Hufflepuff. And then when they put the hat on, they're just like, 10 points to Gryffindor. You're like, what the fuck? I'm going to keep playing until I get my house right. And then fucking Reddit and Twitter are going to explode.
That's what makes me think that you
YouTube
might
videos.
just choose, right?
Yeah.
So
Which sucks because it should be RNG. It really
that
should.
would be pretty funny.
It would.
Or based on like how you make your character, which somebody will parse that out of what to do to
That's
make it.
yeah,
But, like,
no,
it should
yeah,
be
like
a
how you build your
little-
guy. Yeah,
It should be a little obfuscated, right, of how
Yeah.
you build your person, and then they
Yeah.
decide, right?
like you're just a really nice guy, and you're aiming
Yeah.
for Hufflepuff, and you get thrown into.
That's what I
fucking
mean. Like they
Slytherin.
might just do like a Pottermore quiz, and then they're like, "There you go. That's your fucking house, idiot."
Right.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. I
That'll
just wanted to
be
talk
what it
about
is.
that.
They link to your fucking Pottermore account. Is that still a thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And that's that's ran by J.K. Rowling herself, not I don't think not the publisher, right? Penguin.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure anybody who's licensing this doesn't want to be associated with J.K. Rowling. So it is what it is.
I know when I was working at the theater, the girls made me do the Pottermore thing,
Oh yeah.
and I got sorted into Ravenclaw, and they both got really upset because both of them wanted to be. No, one of them. I think Ashley was a Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff.
I think, and then
For all
I
the
know
rest, I
Brenda was
believe.
really angry because she's a Slytherin.
I took it. I don't remember what I was. I think it was Gryffindor, which is just boring, right?
Yeah, right. Oh man, you're a good person.
Oh wow, you're so brave. I'm like, no, I'm not. Josh should be a Gryffindor. You're the bravest man I've ever met.
Oh my god.
You would not even go to see Ghostbusters.
Neither would you, you fuck.
True.
I even asked. I asked. I said, Ryan, do we have to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife? And you're like, we should, but I'm not gonna. We did. Spoilers.
Anyway, spoilers for last episode. So,
Oh fuck.
yeah, whatever.
Cut it out. Oh god.
No, they can't see how the fucking
They're
how
no,
the
they're-
sausage is
They're
made.
looking at how the. I almost said taffy. Why would?
It's how the saltwater taffy
They're gonna
stretched.
know how. Yeah, they're gonna know how the salt. They're gonna know how we make the cotton candy.
You don't even have to do that by hand anymore. They got a big rotating arm.
Yeah,
that
they
goes
got a
bloop,
big fucking thing.
Bloop.
Yeah.
bloop, and then you're like,
It's-
ooh, that candy's stretchy. We got to get off of this.
This
we
is going
We
well.
have to get
This is
past
going really
opening
well.
banter, and we have to get. We're talking about the Batman.
Yeah, we're getting.
This is
into
kind
the
of a big deal
bum, 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 bum.
for a few reasons because it's the Batman, and people seem to care about that a lot, and superhero movies, whether we like it or not, are somewhat of our bread and butter around here. And
Yeah.
And it's like this is one of the delayed ones, right?
Yeah.
And,
Supposed to come out
COVID's over.
2021.
We're making money at the movie theater again, right? Until it's not over again. Hopefully that's not true.
I think the
but-
one that made me laugh was during the trailers was when they did the "let's all go to the lobby" kind of
Yeah,
thing, dude.
yeah,
But
yeah.
they all had masks.
Yeah, it
on.
did, yeah. Whatever. We're talking about the Batman. Fucking
A lot of things to be said about old Batster.
we went to the movies. We saw it opening weekend. We were ready. We took this.
I've been waiting.
seriously.
Yeah,
And this
I
isn't-
was eagerly awaiting this movie. I hyped myself up on it. I was terrified I was going to get Amazing Spider-Man because I was going down the right road for that.
True, you were. I didn't have any expectations other than I was like
I was just
I was
excited
like, oh,
for
some
it.
of these visuals look pretty cool. I hope that it's borders on sort of sincere but goofy enough or something. I don't even know what I honestly don't know what I expected. But anyway, Josh, what did you think of the Batman?
Fucking hated it.
Yeah. That you can't keep doing it, Josh. It loses its luster if you keep
It's
doing that.
funny every
It's
time.
not- I disagree.
It's funny every
I
time.
disagree.
No, it is It's hard for me to say it because my love for the 1989 Batman.
No, it's the best Batman by
is
like a
pure and
fucking
true.
country mile.
And it is the best Batman film that's ever been made. It's one of the best comic book movies that's ever been made. It's it's up there with Logan for me. I struggle where to put Logan with this movie because like I love Logan so much, and the two of them are like right there.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gay. Sorry, you said you loved Logan.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. Now we got to cut that out.
No. I refuse. Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on both of those things. I don't care about Batman at all. I think he's kind of goofy, and I think when they lean into that, it's pretty fun. But also, but the problem is I know that there's like good context to where the Batman is like an interesting character, and I don't think they've ever done a good job at showing that. And people get really mad all the time, and they say they love The Dark Knight, and I wonder if they've watched The Dark Knight. And the Dark Knight Rises is better than that movie because at least it's stupid. Like
it has the balls to be bad.
A lot of people are going to say this fucking movie's boring. This movie is not boring. Fucking Dark Knight is boring. Dark Knight is fucking the most face value dumb bullshit ever. And this has interesting things to say. Characters have like real motivations and plans that make sense, at least for the most part.
For the movie.
Yeah.
At least the plans make sense within
Gotham
the context
is a place
of the movie.
that like has issues and isn't just like its main issue isn't having Batman and the Joker live there. Fucking like that's kind of just an aside, right? Yeah, this movie not only is really good, just
Ryan's got hot takes on The Dark Knight, guys.
Yeah. This movie is really good, just in general. I think it's a good, well-made film. And
but from a production standpoint, it's the best one since the Burton movies.
Yeah, I'll agree. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that because those the design of those movies was really nice.
I actually looked into filming locations for this movie. Did you know that the Iceberg Lounge is an actual nightclub in London?
Oh wow, I didn't know
everything in there. I thought that was like a soundstage or something.
I thought I thought they totally built a big ass soundstage to look like a warehouse with a big ice cube up top. Right?
I'm trying to remember what it is.
Glass
it's like
cube.
Yeah, it's like a decommissioned paper factory or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And,
that seems like a real European kind of like house.
Most of
EDM
the movie
place,
was
right?
filmed in Scotland,
Yeah.
Liverpool,
because you want to get some of that
Glasgow.
Gothic.
Yeah, Liverpool, Glasgow, London, little bit in Chicago, where I think
Of
every
course,
time there's like the L train
When
and
you
stuff
need
like
the
that.
trains and certain American.
Yeah, but no, the majority of the
Aesthetics.
movie was like Glasgow, Liverpool, couple other London locations and stuff. Pretty much everything is just London and Scotland.
and like
it's
very
amazing.
very very good film. And then on top of that, I'm just kind of like I'm like, dude, fucking Batman's super cool, man. Like makes me think about. It's like I was talking about where I thought the X-Men were kind of goofy, didn't really care about them, but like I always watch a lot. I always watch all of them, and I like them a lot. But like something like Deadpool, the first Deadpool movie, made me really ask a lot of like questions.
Yeah, no, that was
world.
cool. I thought that was funny that like you and I had watched. You had made me watch Days of Future Past with you after I had sworn off all X-Men films, and you said it was really good. You really liked it, and I ended up really liking that one. That's a great movie. And then, but then there was like 2 more X-Men movies, and then we watched Deadpool, and you're just like, so Josh, what's this about? You start asking me all these questions about X-Men, and I was just like, this is the one that gets you into X-Men?
The X-Men movies, for the most part, are just like, these people have superhero powers, and they're a team, and fuck that guy, right?
Yeah.
That's mostly what it is. Like, high concept in some areas, like Days of Future Past, but overall, there's not like any subtlety, right? Or any like real good world building because they're separate from all of other Marvel, right? And they it kind of worked best that way.
I think it should continue.
We'll
see
see if Marvel
that
wants to integrate in a good way. Who knows?
Yeah,
we were talking about that earlier, but this movie made me go like, I have questions about Batman and Gotham and how things work and this and that. So like, not only did it make me not think Batman is a stupid fucking character, but like in overall a good way, like is how I've always thought about it. But I'm like, now I'm like, Yeah, this is an area like Bruce Wayne, and we'll get into that. Bruce Wayne and the Batman overall, they've got some depth to them. This movie really puts it on display. And yeah, anybody who thought that this movie was boring, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to say that, it's long.
Oh no, I've had a couple guys at work ask me about it, and I'm just like I know them and I know what they're looking for, and I'm just like, you might think it's boring,
Yeah,
but it's not.
it's not. It's actually it's asking some questions. It's giving time for these characters to shine. Not even to. I mean, you get what I mean. It's just
Yeah, I got you.
how I'm saying it.
Yeah.
So, yes, fuck off with all this shit about these other Batmans. Lego Batman's good. Actually good. Yeah, this is like a country mile above everything they've ever fucking made. So yeah, I fucking loved it. I was actually
tell.
I was actually just sitting there like in awe. First of all, that was so good, and second of all, I'm just like, what is happening? They're making a Batman movie that's like a movie that's good and makes sense. Isn't it fucking pissing me off?
Yeah, it's a murder mystery.
Yeah, and they take
And
the characters seriously,
Batman
but
is
they
the
don't make them
detective.
gritty. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no,
That's
it's gritty, but it's believable grit. It's not like big boy movie for big boys.
It's
You know,
not. It's not what for a while there it was gritty realism, which was if we make them say the fuck word and have a obnoxious amount of violence, it'll justify that they're men who like comics books for children, right?
Yeah.
And in this one, they're just like, we're just making a fucking movie.
We're just gonna make 7.
Yeah, exactly. We're just making a fucking what they were doing there for a while, the grittiness, what was gritty was over the top, R rating, fucking excessive violence, saying the fuck word, they put a booba in it. Fucking
Plenty of upskirt
and then
shots.
it's like this is for adults to make people who like children's comic books fucking feel better about themselves.
Feel
First of all,
validated.
you don't need to feel better about yourself. People like all sorts of stuff, and they can take a character that has had a long run and has a lot of things to pull from and is no longer just for children. Like you should see Spidey and his amazing friends on Disney Junior. That's not Spider-Man, right?
No.
There's different levels to some of these characters.
Wizzy. Wait, what's
And
his
they
name?
were just
Wizzy?
like-
is Swoopy?
It's Spidey, Ghost Spider, and Spin. Josh, get
That's
it
right. That's why I'm asking. Jesus, come at me all hot.
So they
He's
went
fired up right now.
they went and were just like, well, like a fucking a poverty crime stricken shithole of a place like Gotham. They started there and
Yes.
worked their way up from there, and then took these characters and a crime psychological thriller type plot is adult and like grounded and gritty in itself, and didn't try to add synthetic grittiness is
Yeah.
what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
I've taken over this enough. Go ahead.
It's the neo-noir, dude, and that's what it is first and foremost. And I like that they took that approach where, because I think you and I were talking about it off mic one of the times we were up here drinking or whatever, fucking rambling on, and I told you they need to make a mystery film or thriller, and Batman is in place of the detective, and that is what we got here.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we did. We got Zodiac meets Seb. This is a movie that wears all of its inspiration on its sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's wonderful. I think it's great because it's like you can see where they're pulling from. Just, you know, the way characters are acting and stuff from you get it from, oh, that's from the animated show, or this is from, you know, this is from this comic, and oh wait, no, that's from Christine. Like Christine, the movie about a demon car, is in this fucking movie. And it's great to get where you catch all these little nuggets. You know, there's stuff from that. There's French Connection. There's a conversation. There's Seven, Zodiac, the Usual Suspects. So much of that is out here on display in this film, and I think that's great because that's just reading a really good comic story where it's just like, oh, I can see where the writer was pulling shit from this. This is interesting, you know, and it doesn't feel hacky. It doesn't feel like, oh, remember this? This was cool in one thing. Now I'm going to do no, none of it feels like that. You just you get the feel of it. And it's yeah, like every time Catwoman and Bruce are talking, I was like, man, this dialogue's really corny between the two of them. But then like I'm thinking in my head and I'm like, oh, this is like The Big Sleep. You know, where because like those are some of my favorite noirs. All the Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall movies, those are great. And everything that they had in there had this old timey like the way that they flirt back and forth and the way that they have these corny
we flirt.
We
flirted. We're single. We're in love now. Like I would love to make fun of that.
Yeah,
but you're right. I went instantly
it's
was like it's going for that
bit.
Dumb noir, old Hollywood type of relationship, right?
Exactly. And I
does it fit
it.
perfect? No, but it's fine.
I disagree. I think it fit brilliantly. It felt comic booky to me, where I'm just like, this shit's dated.
Honestly, with how it ended, sure, yeah, right. I think as it was happening, I was a little more critical in my brain.
No, because I
was like, okay,
no. When it first started, I was just like, ugh. And then the longer it went on, the more I was like, oh no, wait, this is all that shit that I fucking still.
But I had the same complaint with Baby Driver back in the day. Baby and Deb's relationship.
They pull it off better in this movie.
Oh, I agree.
Than Deb and Baby in that movie. Fucking Colin Farrell knocking it out of the park.
Unrecognizable.
Robert Pattinson doing a fantastic job. I wasn't one of those guys that was like the Twilight guy.
Because everybody's been down this road so much before. It's just like, let's all hate it and then be like, wow, he did an okay job.
Yeah. Most of us have evolved to that point. Yeah. And I was talking to one of the dudes I work with the other day, and he was talking about, Robert Pattinson, Twilight, da-da-da. And then he thought of, and I was just like, man, there has not been a single Batman casting that everybody's been just like, yeah, good to go. Here we go. It was never that Robert Downey Jr. moment where where they were just like, hey, he's going to be playing Tony Stark. And everybody was like, no, that works. There was never that. Michael Keaton was getting death threats way back when you had to write a letter and send it through the mail. That's nuts to me.
You really, it really takes your rage to another level. That being said, people had a lot more time.
Oh, yeah. People had more time. Postage was cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
The mail was more reliable.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, come on, man. You got your mail back in the day. You barely get your mail these days. But, so I wasn't one of those guys that was like, oh, the Twilight guy. I was just like, well, he's been doing other stuff. I've seen some of his newer stuff. I find him at the least interesting. It's an interesting choice. Let's see what he does. And then through all the trailers, I really liked what they were doing and stuff. It looked cool. He looked brooding and angry. And that's the one thing that I really like, speaking of that brooding and anger. When he's Bruce, you can tell it's the way he delivers it. It's all still there. He's still angry and just hateful and brooding and just, it's all right there. And then when he's in the suit, it doesn't seem so constrained. Like he can let it out now, but he still has the same like pissed off look on his face. Mm-hmm. Like I love what they do with Bruce. And I've heard a lot of people complain about the emo haircut and his edgelordness. And I'm just like, this is young Bruce. He's still really, really he's just getting into the mission. That's why you get all this, I'm vengeance.
Yeah.
That kind of crap. Because he's just new to this whole thing, and he's still an angry kid.
We don't know what kind of origin they picked for him, right? No. So it's kind of like, which I like. So we don't know what he's been through to get to this point.
We know that, the bare basics where like the kids died, the parents are dead, and then he went and trained.
Yeah, where he trained. But how did that go? Why did he come back?
Yeah.
How was him and Alfred's relationship? They talk about it a little bit. He's being a dick. He's like, fucking take a shower.
Petulant
take a shower. You have shit to do. And he's like, I am the night. Shut up. And fucking and it's perfect though, right? You get it, right? He hasn't worked through yet. This is him working on it right now.
Oh yeah,
right?
No, we're watching his therapy.
Yeah, exactly. So.
No, but like in regards to the stupid emo haircut, which everybody bitches about. The way they present Bruce in this is a guy that probably shaves his head once a year, and that's his fucking haircut.
What I took from the haircut was he had to go out, so he did the best he could with it. But like he wasn't showering, he wasn't sleeping.
No. He doesn't care. He doesn't
like,
care. Bruce, he does not care about doing his
Yeah.
day to day. It's not part of the mission. He is utilitarian.
That's
and
just
everything.
because that's what longer hair fucking Robert Pattinson looks like.
Yeah.
Like, give the guy a break.
Yeah, it's just unkempt hair on a man that doesn't care about his normal
Yeah,
life. He has a mission to enact, and that's what I mean. He probably shaves his head once a year, and then that's his haircut for the year. And then just you look at the suit, you look at the Batmobile, you look at his gear, you look at his cave. It's not elaborate in any way. Everything is just like practical, and this is where we were talking about that realism. This is the one that has felt the most real to me. You get your goofy bit where
he's not
and it
jumping.
worked-
He's not jumping a Batmobile out of a cave, out of a waterfall.
yeah, it's not
onto a
coming up
dirt
out of a
road.
lake.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, no, it comes out of a subway tunnel. I
Yeah.
liked what they did with it, just an unused, forgotten, ruined out, burned
Well,
out.
and I'm sure that has something
Subway
to do
tunnel.
with the Reformation, right? Or what the fuck did they call it? Did they call it Reformation?
Reformation or reclamation or
Yeah,
something.
right,
And that comes again.
That's probably part of that wasted money where technically that's theirs because they tried to build public transport that didn't get used and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well,
Like,
look at the orphanage. The orphanage probably got cast aside during all that. And the whole Reformation thing, that's a call to Court of Owls and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's so many good references, little tidbits in there all over the place. But no, this guy is practical and utilitarian, and everything that he has in his life serves a purpose. Fucking looking fancy and wearing nice suits does not serve a purpose. That is a part of his life that he does not give a shit about. This guy doesn't care. He barely shaves in the movie, you know. And it's funny. I remember the joke going around about Robert Pattinson refusing to work out
yeah.
for everything. And then when you watch the movie, you're like, no, he wouldn't work out. He goes and works out when he fucking beats the shit out of the city. It made so much sense. He doesn't need to fucking get yoked, get jacked. He's jacked enough and it works for the job, you know?
Yeah, you don't need to go for the classic movie strength looking.
Yeah,
you know what I
no,
mean?
yeah.
There's a reason that The Rock and fucking Chris Evans
And Chris
look
Hemsworth,
the
yeah.
way they look, and World's Strongest Men don't look that way. People who actually compete in that stuff don't look that way. There's physique and then there's strength, and Robert Pattinson's take on the character was like, no, he would be like a pretty average build and he would have technique.
He would just
and
be
strength.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be fucking yoked.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of that stereotype.
I'm all about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like I said, to Bruce, it wouldn't serve any purpose. Yeah, he's strong as fuck, but he's not,
Yeah.
supermodel cut.
Yeah.
You know? He's not a bodybuilder. He's fucking, this is practical.
With Captain America, it makes sense, right? But
Yeah, because his whole body changed. I was thinking more Chris Hemsworth,
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
thing. Yeah. But no, I love the grounded, practical. Like, I mean, you throughout the movie, the man gets shot a billion times. The only time it really, the only two times where I was just like, all right, enough's enough, was like when they were like walking in a circle around him and just shooting bullets at him. I was like, that's enough. And then when a bomb blows up in his face, and
I want to talk
he
about
walks
I want
away
to
from
talk
that.
about the bomb a lot.
Dude, that's
If we wanna talk about
that's
it-
an explosive expert on set getting a little too crazy, and a CGI guy going like big boom. You know?
I kind of wanted to talk about that. I know what he's doing,
Yeah.
right? Like, I understand his plan, but at like 2 seconds, don't just continue standing there. Was he like, he's not going to actually blow it up? Like, the dude's already killed so many people.
Right? Yeah, dude. No, get
Get out of there. You tried your best. You stayed until the last possible moment, but him getting blown the fuck up that close.
Yeah.
And then also, it's kind of fucking funny, right? Like all
It's
the
very
the
funny.
cops just picked him up, took him to the station, and were like, then waited until they got there to be like, should we take his mask off? They didn't give him no fucking first aid. No emergency responders got to him. No, they picked him up, his limp body after being exploded, and took him to the police station without unmasking
I like to
him.
think that Gordon was in the back of
know.
the truck. No.
Exactly.
I like
No, I know.
I like to think that Gordon was in the back of the truck or the van or whatever with him, and they kept like reaching at it, and he was like, "Stop it! Just smacking the hands like, no.
And that's the least
hey,
of
knock it off.
of my complaints is the cops not wanting to, like, I know the cops want to know who he is, but it's more the fact that they didn't get him any emergency medical treatment. They took him to the police
dude,
department.
but if you think if you want to come at it realistically, these guys don't fucking care if he dies.
No.
And I love how they do that in the movie.
It was probably
The
him and
cops
Gordon, yeah.
fucking hate him. And I love that. They do not give a shit.
No, he might, and who knows? You could easily wave this away. Like, he had a thing with Gordon, right? Where he's like, don't take me to the fucking hospital.
No
like,
hospital.
Yeah,
no
right.
doctors.
Yeah. So, who knows?
I
right?
like that he goes back to the Michael Keaton way of doing the Batman voice where it's just him whispering.
Yeah.
He just talks in a low
He's
whisper
just being
the
a
whole
little bit
time.
more mysterious.
I love the
with it,
way
right?
he is a creep. He's unsettling to be around.
Yeah.
And all that you feel that in the audience when you're in a scene with him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a palpable tension every time he's in there. And when he's around the other cops or around other people, not necessarily the bad guys, because the bad guys, they're not really that intimidated by him yet. And I like that where they're cool and they're just like, yo, fuck you. When he comes in and then he beats the crap out of all of them and they're like, whoa.
Yeah, whoa, bro.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Oswald, straight, keeps calling him, keeps making jokes, but at the same time, he's seen that he can drop all his guys. So he's just like, hey, it's back up here. But yeah, there's a weirdness to him, and it's awkward, and it's awkward and it's unsettling whenever he's in a room and he's got to do something. It's like I know I'm dressed like a bat. It almost feels like, where he's just like, part of him's just like, no, I'm super scary. And then the back of his head is like, dude, you're dressed like a bat. What are you doing?
These people don't want me here.
Yeah. And I like that, where being in a room with Batman is just weird.
Yeah.
And it should be. And I know from all the shit that I did after I watched it, because I went around and I watched a ton of videos looking at the inspiration and stuff. I watched a bunch of Matt Reeves stuff and everything. And in an interview, Matt Reeves said he wanted to give him that Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers presence where the guy never really runs. He walks towards his victim. So that's why you get that slow, heavy footstep walk. And I love the way they do that, because it's the beginning of the movie is fantastic. Yeah, we don't have the heist. We don't have the plane. We don't have any of that. We've got a signal and a monologue that gives you what you're going to be getting through the whole movie. The beginning is very slow, very methodical. The signal goes
atmospheric,
up. And it's very, and it sets the tone exceptionally well. Where it
paints
just
Gotham as well as a character.
And that's
bringing him into it.
That is another thing that I want to get into. Gotham is a character again. It's not. You look at that Gotham, and it's overcrowded. It's jumbled up. It's mixed up, and I think it's great that they used like United Kingdom cities and stuff, because all the streets are much more narrow over there, and it gives this like chaos mashed together kind of thing. And another thing, oh god, I'm all over the place.
No, you're I mean, that's just kind of how I feel about the movie too. It's just like they did not take a lot of missteps, right?
No.
Like, I want to talk about the goofiness of that stupid explosion. Like, but the scene is good, right? Everything about it is great. And then you cut, fade to black, cut up, and then it instantly starts going again, and it makes sense with him in that situation and what they did and him punching Gordon. It's all great, right? Yeah. But it's just that little narrow window where if you think about it too much, you're kind of like, this is a little goofy, right? But Goofy and Batman go hand in hand to me. Yeah. But this movie really tried not to do too much goofy.
And they do it really well. The only time, like, the bomb is the bomb, but it happened so fast and so quick. I didn't really go like, oh, that's stupid.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. I was like, oh, that's stupid. The time that I really didn't like it was when he's hanging off a chandelier and they're all just running around him, just shooting their guns at him. And I'm like, all right, now you're pushing it for me, because that goes on for so long.
Yeah.
But no, one of the technical things that they did that I think is awesome was they didn't CGI backgrounds or anything like that in it. They had like for the set pieces and stuff, like Oswald's office, Falcone's office, Bruce's house, and even some of the distant shots of the city and stuff are giant LED screens.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that's what gives it. And it's, if you watch the movie, there's some of them that you're just like, is that a matte painting? Did they go back to old matte paintings? No, it's it's buildings and stuff like chopped together and stuff on these giant LED screens outside of windows and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it gives it that tasteful fake look.
Sure,
That's
yeah,
why I like
yeah.
to call it. It's Burton's got it. Burton does it all the time with like the obvious matte paintings, but it feels cheap and gross, but it also feels really artistic and creative. And that's
Yeah.
I want to praise it for that. I think that's an awesome look.
It's a good way to go about it. Like it's, as technology improves, we start calling they're still called matte paintings, right? Even
Yeah.
when they're just completely digitally done.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, these are
and-
digitally done, but they're not just CGI.
but it's an in camera digitally
Yeah.
done, which is like right?
Yeah. It's not a green screen
Yeah,
room. It's a room
exactly.
with like 4 giant LED screens with cities projected on them. I think that's brilliant.
Sounds expensive.
But yeah. Well, the movie was
Oh, I'm sure.
200 something, I think.
Yeah, that's not
200
bad.
million something. But they made their money back.
Oh, I'm sure.
So but no, I like that they did that. I like that they set up Gotham as a character. I like that they set up that Gotham is fucked.
Oh yeah. They did.
They do, and
that's
like
the
we were
point.
saying at the beginning was like they set Gotham up as a character. It's so dirty, and you get these just a bunch of shots of just Gotham, not while Bruce is talking. You just get Gotham all over the place, and then the light goes up, and then you get the thing about the light, and then you get the criminals looking in the shadows. But the standout part for that, the growing tension with the shadows, and all the criminals looking in the shadows and bailing on whatever they're doing because he might be there. That's great. But the building of Gotham that goes on throughout the movie is so great. And if you juxtapose that with like Dark Knight Rises, where all of a sudden Gotham's shitty and the rich have everything and we don't have it, you never set that up. Gotham looks fine for most of these movies, except for the Narrows. Everything looks fine. It just looks like Chicago.
No, and
in this, it's all mishmashed. So it looks so dirty, and I loved it.
It
And
looks
bad.
so good, and they that's the main thing of the movie, right?
Yeah.
You have the Riddler and you have Batman trying to solve these mysteries and these killings, right?
On the same,
But-
pretty much on the same side. They're
Yes.
both exploring the same mystery. Riddler's just
Exactly, and we'll get into that. But it starts and ends with Gotham, and it's letting the viewer know, us and Batman discovering that like Gotham is just fucked.
Yeah.
It shows us what's happening with crime on the streets levels, right? And then
Mhm.
as the movie's going on, you just realize more and more and more and more that Gotham from top to bottom is just fucked. And that is the real progression of
Yep.
the story.
Yep.
And that is like the main character and all the shit going on with Gordon and Bruce and fucking the Riddler is all just kind of helping explore that
Yeah.
situation. And it just finally ends with like, yes, from top to bottom, and things that Bruce was somewhat involved with have bringing back in the past. It's all been bad for so long, and he is looking at this kind of the wrong way.
yeah.
That's why the movie is so good.
Yep.
Again, Gotham itself, the people involved. Sure,
They're a product
but
of their
they're the
environment.
product
They're a
of
product of their
they're
environment.
part of what's going wrong
Yeah.
here, right? And yeah, it's just
Yeah, the way
You're
the reason
100%
Gotham
right.
is the way that it is because of the corruption, and you're seeing the result of that corruption. It's great show don't tell.
yeah.
I love it. It's the
And that's why the movie is so long. And I hear some people get mad because they're like, "You think he's dealing with this, and then something else comes up." And I was like, "You're not getting it. It's we're discovering how far this goes,
Yeah.
right? And that takes time."
The only complaint that I can give that I can side with that on is the only one that I can offer is like some scenes that aren't story based or anything like that. They could be trimmed down a little
Sure,
bit.
they could. Yeah.
But other than that, I'm fine with the runtime. It felt like reading a really good long run of Batman, like a good long story arc of Batman.
yeah,
I love this fucking movie.
it's real
um,
good. I was in shock.
I want to talk about the Batmobile scene.
Okay,
Really bad.
let's talk about it.
Because I love how it begins, where right off, you just hear like everybody's shooting at Batman, and then he's not there anymore. And then in the distance, it gets that, and this is where Christine comes in, because it's just in the shadows, and you get the lights come up,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear the roar of the car and the roar of the engine, and this thing's gonna fucking. It's like a beast from the underworld.
Starting to see the jet engine start
Yeah,
going
start
or whatever.
flaming, and then it stalls out.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. But then the car actually takes off, and it's, I don't know, maybe I'm waxing too poetic about it, but that scene isn't about the drivers. It's all about the fear that we've it's an extension of what we saw with the criminals looking in the shadows. Batman's going to get him. This is like his fucking dog.
Yeah.
The Batmobile is not a car. It's not his vehicle. It is like the
And it's not
embodiment of his
It's not
determination.
purpose built. There's no sideways rolling tires and all this shit. It's just like, this thing's fucking sweet and fast, and it's coming for you.
And it is just, it's gonna get you. This thing is a fucking dog from hell, and it's gonna drag you back there screaming. Like, it's rolling down the freeway, smashing through like concrete, like it's made of paper. That thing's unstoppable. It is terrifying. There's one that I just when he's smashing through stuff on the highway, that profile shot of the thing just screaming down the highway, smashing through shit that falls off the trucks.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing, dude. That part is unsettling. That car does not stop. That car is horrifying. I love it.
Yeah. And
The camera work is so cool too. That shot where
I
he
was going to say,
skid.
Colin Farrell did a good job with that. How they shot it, because they shot the whole movie, and like you were talking about, them getting more European cities to shoot in and stuff. Very claustrophobic. Everything's very, you're in it, man, and you feel kind of suppressed a little bit, right?
Oh,
how-
and again, a production note. They waited for a shitty night to film that.
Yeah.
They wanted it to look like crap and be trafficy and rainy, because you don't. Ideally, you add all that in later
Sure,
and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
No, they wanted
cover
it to,
up certain
Yeah, they
problems and
wanted it to
cuts.
look like shit, and they wanted it to be a shitty night, and they did it so well. Anyway,
Yeah, it's good, and yeah, the way you're just, you feel the traffic,
tight-
you feel how tight it is, and how you have to maneuver, and how you like.
the
trying
traffic
to get
looked
through
so
everything,
real
yeah.
too, and it's
It really did, which begs the one, and this is not a fucking problem for me. Like, it's a movie, right? The one thing that I wonder how Batman fans feel about it, because they hated the Batfleck for this, is like, he has absolutely no regard for the safety of any of the civilian drivers on that highway.
Oh no, he's shoving
right?
people out of the way. But see, and the thing is too, I think you can get away with it in this one because he's younger.
Sure,
And
yes.
he's
And
2
that's-
years into the job, and he's just, like I said earlier, he's just about the mission. His mission is to get Cobblepot.
and at the moment right there, that was the end game, right?
Yep.
He needed him.
He needed
Like,
if he gets Oswald, it's all
Yeah,
over.
right.
Oswald's the guy. Yeah.
So I know, and it doesn't bother me. And
No,
I'm just
no,
like,
no.
you have to make a car chase exciting, right? And
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to sit here and go frame by frame like people who watch The Last Jedi, and they're like, clearly here, this Praetorian Guard could have attacked and did not. This is not a fun lightsaber fight, and you guys are all stupid. I'm not going to go frame by frame.
Whatever, man. Kylo did the one thing I've been waiting anyone to do with a friggin' lightsaber:
Yep.
just turn it on and blow a guy's brains
Yeah,
out with
it's
it. That was
true.
badass.
Yeah, everybody who's not fucking stupid knows that shit was fun. So anyway, I'm not gonna go frame by frame and be like, well, technically that was Penguin and this was just circumstance. But again, if they wouldn't engaged in the chase in the first place, a lot of these things wouldn't have happened.
So much collateral
I'm
damage.
not gonna do that, right? It's a
Yeah.
fun. You have to make a car chase fucking cool, and they nailed it,
Dude, just-
sorry to derail it with that, but I've heard that complaint
Oh
from
yeah,
somebody else.
no, and then like the truck pile up and everything, and then he
Which
just,
was just fucking awesome.
And then he
the way
just-
they filmed that and Colin Farrell's performance through that was so good.
great. Oh, dude, when he pulls up alongside him, he busts out the Uzi and just starts on that, and Bruce is just sitting there looking at him like, "You're not getting through it, dude." And just he does so much good emoting through all that makeup and everything without really like. There's little times where you're just like Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
But for the
And the
most part,
eyes a little
does
bit.
not look. Yeah, the eyes, and sometimes when he smiles, you can see it in the mouth. Like when he's like looking over his shoulder, he looks like Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
But I like that the camera is so tight on just the faces of them. Like when everything's, you're watching the trucks flip and the explosions are going off and cars are skidding and flipping and roll. It's God damn it. So fucking cool. Sorry, I'm really excited.
It's
I have been dying to watch this movie again.
And the sound kicked in, and there's more. It's fire and lights, and you're finally getting some like
Bruce. Yeah, and Bruce is just
it
like
was an exciting part of the movie.
And just like that part where Bruce just goes like just starts screaming. It didn't feel dumb. It felt like he was just like, I have to get this done, And he just the ramp drops, and then boom, car comes through, big explosion, and then Oswald just celebrating, and you can tell. Real relief, just like I got him, and then just like I said, that demon dog car comes flying out of the fire, just roar. Oh my god, I loved it.
It's good.
Sound like a little child.
No, it's really good, and they you talked about like non-story elements could be cut down a little bit, but I kind of like that they liked to kind of like simmer, let it simmer.
Oh yeah,
a bit, right?
No.
You get him getting out of the car. You get him walking almost the full way
that
up
was
to the
important.
other car.
That's it. That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. I'm talking about certain scenes where nothing's really going on. And
That's
there's
what you think. I know what you're talking about. It was important because now we know where the road goes.
I was waiting for it. It's been a long road. They just CGI Paul Walker's
face on the Selena Kyle.
On the Selena Kyle. Zoe Kravitz. She just looks over.
Yeah.
Pulls up the hood.
She pulls up the hood.
It's Paul Walker.
And then it goes over and all of a sudden it's just Vin Diesel and you're like, what is happening? And then it's just like, wow, dude, and then it's like, that's the big mystery.
No,
this was
there's
Fast 10,
dude. There's some scenes early on where it's just like, he's just walking. Do we really have to walk into the house with him? But
it's building tension.
No, and this is why I'm like, it's like, and I'm not saying like cut it, just get rid of it. I'm like, trim it down.
Well, and trimming it, but here's the thing, right? They probably consider that, and then they go, okay, let's take stock here and figure out, okay, do we need to cut 4 minutes from the film? They're probably like,
right,
no.
right. No,
I want to cut 30 minutes from almost every movie ever. From every movie ever.
Right.
And I'm like, this movie earns this runtime more than any other.
Because I remember we were talking after we saw it, and you got really mad at me for saying, like, I think you could cut maybe 10, 15 minutes out. And you were like, no, you can't.
You can't. This one justifies and earns this runtime better than most movies.
No, but like I love him walking around, like when he goes to the orphanage and everything, he's walking around, he's picking stuff up.
Yeah,
he just drops it. It's just like he's doing detective work.
And that's another
that's
thing.
what I love is we're watching him detect. We have not ever received a Batman movie where he's solving a mystery.
And I think some people are forgetting where you have shots of him like kind of just looking left and right and looking at stuff and taking a closer look at shit. It's so he can go back and rewatch that on his stupid camera eye.
Yeah, because he's got the detective
It's
vision.
like he's trying to take a fucking record of what's going on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he's being thorough.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I liked and speaking of that, I like that they set that up too when you first find out about the contact lens and everything. And he's like, he's like, because I come home, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything from everything anymore.
Shit's blending together.
Yeah, it's all starting to blend together. I can't tell which one was which, so it's smart that he's got that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that Alfred comes in and is just like, oh man, I'm going to decrypt this. Hang on, I'll be back. You know, and just doing Alfred work.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. And I like that they left room to
how much did Alfred teach him?
Yeah, I was gonna say they left room for us to find out maybe in future movies of how their relationship is going and why Alfred is just like cool with this, right? Because we have no clue.
He's not cool with it, and I really was nervous about Andy Serkis. I don't know why. I've always liked Andy Serkis. I was just kind of like,
for some reason, it's like maybe they color graded it different or
Yeah.
something. It just looked like he really didn't belong in the movie. I don't know
No.
what about it was like made me go like, I'm not onto that.
And then
casting.
he's so good. I was
He's
kind of
really
I would have loved to have seen Jeremy Irons come back.
sure Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons come back. But you know, I was kind of like, why didn't they just go with Jeremy Irons the whole time? And then I'm watching the movie, and I was just like, no, man,
Yeah.
Andy Serkis is perfect for this.
He's doing
this
good,
version of
yeah.
Alfred, yeah. And I like that their relationship is
They have a moment.
uncle and nephew almost,
Sure, yeah.
dude, where it's like the uncle's raising the kid, and he's just like, my fucking dad, and it's like it seems petulant, but at the same time, like. He's like, I don't need to listen to you, and Andy's just like, oh yeah.
You're lucky,
Alfred.
You're lucky I keep you around, and he's
Yeah.
just like, I'm the fucking executor of this fucking trust,
right?
you piece of shit,
right,
Yeah,
dude,
like-
right? Do you want your parents'
Yeah.
legacy to fail? And he's like, this is my legacy.
So-
I'm the knight.
Yeah, I
He's
am the
just-
knight. Shut up.
And
So
he's just like, your dad wasn't. Get out there, put a fucking suit on.
yeah, yeah. It's
I love
there's
the-
so much to unwrap, and there's so much to go to continue with,
Yeah.
which I really like.
Yeah. For them wanting to do a one and done, they did so well. If there was never another Batman movie, I'd be fine.
Sure, yeah.
Um,
This works on its own. Yeah,
This is so good. I want more because I'm greedy.
yeah.
But if I never got, we're gonna get more.
I'm sure.
It's too fucking good. It's too good.
And I think they did a really good job of what they could do for a potential sequel. And I'm not talking about the Joker, possible Joker cameo.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
No. Honestly, they had a deleted scene where they initially wanted to bring that character in. Spoilers. Sorry, guys.
I'll put spoilers in the title.
What the fuck?
They had a deleted
Oh yeah,
scene.
they had a deleted scene where they initially, when everything started happening, he goes to Arkham
Mhm.
because he's already caught Joker.
Oh,
And he goes in
okay.
there kind of like in the Long Halloween where he goes and talks to Calendar Man.
Sure.
It was a mirror kind of that scene where he's already caught Joker. Joker's locked up. And that's why we have the gang guys with the Joker makeup
Got
and
it.
everything.
Okay.
He walks in.
See, I thought that was great.
I thought that had to do with Halloween because
so
the
did
movie
I.
starts during Halloween,
was-
but apparently it ties in.
and I thought
Joker
that
being
was
around.
great marketing where like they make you wonder like, whoa, what are those people in the marketing? And then when you watch, you're like, oh, it's just Halloween.
Yeah.
But okay, I
No,
guess there was a little bit of
But yeah, he goes in and talks to Joker because there's a similarity. But there is a
Yes.
similarity between Riddler and Joker.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like he goes in there and tries to talk to him, and I think it's a really interesting idea. I'm glad they didn't put it in because
take a break, right?
yeah. But at the same time, I had complaints about what was in the movie and I still do. But at the same time, if there's a Batman movie, the Joker's going to be there at some point. He
Yeah.
has to be there because no one can let it go.
Yeah. They're like, that will make money. People will buy things.
Especially in this world, I think Joker has the potential to be very, very interesting.
After this, I'm like, okay, if they might be able to do something that's not fucking, I'm going to blow up 2 boats and I hate the mob and money. Fucking Jesus Christ.
No,
He had a good presence in that movie, right? But I didn't like the character
Joker
of the
is
Joker.
cool. Yeah, no, the Joker is cool. Everything about him kind of sucks in that movie.
Anyway.
No.
Any chance I get to tell people how wrong they are about the Dark Knight,
I know.
I'll take it.
I know, man. You get fired up.
Well, I was bamboozled. You know this. I
Yes.
spent $10, maybe even $15 on a DVD copy of Dark Knight, having not seen it.
I told you not to do that. I told you to rent it.
And I said, why wouldn't it be good? Everybody says it's the best. And I was very mad.
It's funny. I eventually kind of fell out of love with The Dark Knight because at first I loved it. I thought it was great. And then, like I am with most Nolan movies, the
saw
more
you
I
on the
watch it,
news.
the more shut up. The more I talk, I wasn't on the
I
news.
know. But you did go back in. They did say that you went back in.
Oh yeah. We did. We watched it 3 times.
Oh, God.
It worked for me like every Nolan did, where I love it at first, and then the more I watch it, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, this isn't really like this is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
It's got great parts, but all those great parts were in like Sneakers and Heat, and I don't know.
I forgot what
man.
what brought me to that.
and they did it better.
Yeah.
Um,
it's just
You were bitching about the Joker.
yeah. Okay. Oh, the Joker. Yes. Fucking. Yeah. Fucking. What the fuck was I talking about? Oh, they set up perfectly for a sequel while buttoning up this story, right? Because I'm like, all of Gotham's like power structure here is fucked, and their DA has been killed, and there's some mistrials going on, and maybe they need a certain mobster might get out of jail, maybe they need a new DA,
Maybe they need new DA.
Maybe that could be something.
Harvey Dent makes the most sense for the next movie. Especially because of the way that they're setting up Gotham. You can get the whole metaphor of Harvey Dent being the physical embodiment of Gotham. God, I'm really pretentious about Batman.
And that's fine.
No, Two-Face would work really well for a villain in the next movie. I really think, because you get Gotham in the state that it's in, and then you did Two-Face is like this great metaphor for Gotham, and the beauty and the corruption at the same time, and it's
yeah. And if they want to make a trilogy, and the reason I bring it up, that like
build to the Joker,
when I initially brought it up, exactly was with this movie, in this Gotham and this Batman and this world that they've built, right? It's like, I'm interested in what they could do with the Joker, but it's like, take your time. You've set up perfectly where Gotham and the Batman are at right now, where Bruce is at mentally, and where this place is at. Now in the next one, it can be a little more Bruce has to get involved, right? Because he has to be able to talk. This guy probably doesn't like well, again, I don't know a lot about the character. He doesn't like vigilantism. So Bruce has to try to get to him as Bruce. So we're going to see more of that in the next one. And we're going to see them trying to rebuild Gotham back up, and how that's going to piss people off, right? And that's what's going to eventually turn
because now
him into
especially
Two-Face.
You got the power vacuum going on, and obviously Penguin's going to step up and be one of the new mob bosses, which I like the idea of Penguin being a mob boss. I've always liked how he's like walked that line and stuff.
They can tweak with his origins a little bit if they need to.
They've definitely tweaked with his origins already.
Yeah, so it's like,
and that's fine.
So I'm just like, it's just so perfect. Like, just do that, right?
Yep.
Don't just jump to the Joker because that's what everybody wants and you teased it.
Yeah.
But then in the next one,
you know what's
depending
funny?
on how that story plays out, then it's like, people are gonna be like, you know, it's perfect for the Joker. Like, haha, you think Gotham's so great? Fuck you.
From me going around on the internet and stuff and looking at all these videos and looking up articles and stuff, a lot of people that I've seen have been like, I just want no Joker.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really want the Joker in these movies.
I would agree.
A lot of people are talking about guys like the Ventriloquist, Lockup, Two-Face is actually out. The Two-Face is like the one on everybody's lips
because he fits so perfect. Right?
And you got shitty villains like Anarchy. They're talking about bringing Anarchy in. You know, they would like to see Anarchy, or a lot of people want to see them try to do something with Clayface. I think that would be cool. I know that both Pattinson and Reeves have talked about Mr. Freeze and the Court of Owls. Court of Owls makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
They've also brought up Robin. They would love to bring in Robin, but Pattinson said in an interview, I guess, like, I won't. He's like, I don't think Robin should be involved unless he's a 13-year-old kid. So no more of this, 20-year-old guy that Bruce has to raise.
Yeah,
he's like, no, he has to be a kid.
Yeah.
And I feel like in the world that we set up with the Bruce that they've set up, a 13-year-old kid in him, there's going to be a lot of shit to comment on that. And then like I think it was Robin Year One, like you got it all, a lot of it from Alfred's point of view, where he's just like, he's doing this, he's acting like a nutbag, and now he's bringing a kid in here.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a lot of asides with Robin where he's like, you don't have to do this, right? And he's like, no, man, I owe him because he helped me out, and he's just like, what the fuck?
This is a step too far. Yeah.
And I guess a lot of the Titans show is based around the fact that Bruce Wayne is kind of a monster and he made these children into child soldiers.
Yeah.
And it's they're all jacked up because of it. And if they go with an angle like you could easily go with an angle like that in this Batman.
Yeah,
and I would love that.
I think it's just it's nice to have a blank slate, right?
Yep.
So don't ever think like building to Joker. Don't think about building to Joker. It's a blank slate. You can do what you need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool because it gives people like the cameo. It doesn't need to be there, right? But
No,
it's cool because it'll make it lets people know that are super fucking worried about it. Like, well, he's in Arkham, so if he never shows up, that's why.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah. Right? No, I love this movie, dude. It's so good. I love Selena Kyle in this movie. First on-screen Catwoman that I really thoroughly enjoyed. Michelle Pfeiffer's cool.
Yeah,
I like
Michelle Pfeiffer has a fucking presence, right?
Yeah.
Like in that movie.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway
Yeah.
barely mattered.
Right.
This is the first one, I think, since her where I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's so cool in this movie. I really liked her, how she is just this street level, like, you don't know fuck all, kind of thing. I thought it was great.
It felt real. It didn't feel like
She never felt like
there was no Occupy Wall
over the
Street
top.
fucking overtones,
Yeah,
right? Like,
it was just a person that was from the lower levels. Everybody that's from the lower level of Gotham, like the lower financial level, feels like they belong in it. Nobody's out there being like, oh, the 1%.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, rich assholes suck. Look at the city.
Yeah.
And they, like, again, goes back to the way that they built Gotham in this. It's everything just goes together beautifully, and it makes me so angry.
Yeah, and especially when you really want to think about it, because not even
Because I want to nitpick all the other
not
ones.
even on like a philosophical level is it like all these rich privileged white people are the problem. They literally are a bunch of corrupt people who are destroying the city and working with the mob boss.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne set up this slush fund where we're supposed to have excess money and we're going to fix the city. And they're like, no, we're going to use it to sell drugs and be pieces of shit and just make ourselves richer.
Yep.
And it's so good.
It's good.
And Thomas
great.
Wayne had the best of intent. Thomas Wayne was a good man. He was just naive.
Yeah.
And I like what they did with that, where, they're just like, yeah, your old man's kind of a piece of shit.
Yep.
And then he's just like, my old man was a piece of shit. And it's like, no, your dad was just naive.
Yeah. Not so much. Right. And that's one criticism that I've heard in that I kind of
because it literally is like, your dad sucks. He's like, my dad sucks. You lied to me. And he's like, no, I didn't. He's like, oh, okay. Fair enough.
And I kind of noted it as well. I was like, well, that had no real impact on
I
his
feel like
worldview.
that got trimmed down.
No,
I feel like that might have been a good chunk
I was
of the
going to
film.
say, where you wanted to make cuts, that's probably where you do it, right? Because it's like, did we need to see Batman like leave the what the fuck is that place called? The Iceberg? What the hell is it
the
called?
Iceberg Lounge.
The Iceberg. And then be like somebody's getting raped or something, and he's just like, "What's the point?" Right? Like, I'm sure they wouldn't do something that grotesque.
No, but if they were
but
going to
him
do
losing the faith, right?
that
We didn't need
comes
to wallow
a
in that
little
too long.
Yeah, and if they were going to set that up, they should have set it up earlier. A lot earlier.
So I feel like
And
they
then
maybe
after,
had
yeah.
that plan and cut it out, and that's why it seems so sudden.
Yeah.
But you can't take the thing that you can't take either of those parts out, Alfred or what is his name, Falcone? Yeah, you can't
Carmine
Falcone, whatever.
It's Falcone.
Yeah.
A lot of people say it wrong.
You can't take either of those scenes
At
out.
least, okay.
So that's why it feels so
let
sudden.
me save my ass here. As long as I've been reading Batman and then been involved in circles talking about Batman, it's Carmine Falcone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to say Falcone when I think of it. So whatever, I'm right. So like I'm sure they probably had more, but they're like, we can't stretch this movie out more, especially the part where like the hero's down but he's got to get his pep talk. It's kind of so tired.
Yeah, and it
So
I
makes
like
you
that it
wonder
is
why
a
doing
little
it
bit
at all,
hand
but-
waved. Yeah, I like that it did get a little hand waved. There's so much of this that is the prototypical origin story stuff that they kind of hand wave, and I like that they hand wave it or they just don't even talk about it.
Yeah.
And I like that you get that with Bruce's origin in this. It's just like, you fucking know he's been Batman.
Yeah.
Move forward. We don't need to watch the parents get killed. We
kind
don't
of-
need to watch him train. We just know he trained.
It's kind of the stuff that I was talking about with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I kind of know what I'm getting when I'm going to a Batman movie, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I need to see him become the Batman again.
Yeah,
Right.
I already saw that. Yeah.
Exactly. So
But we're still watching him become the Batman, but the way that they do it through the whole the origin story through this is he's already there. He's just learning that he doesn't need to scare the entire city.
Yes.
Because when he first shows up,
Well,
common people are terrified of him.
yes, and those are the bookends to the movie, right? The beginning is the guy he's saving is like, Jesus Christ,
Don't hurt
please
me.
don't hurt me, right?
Yeah.
Then at the end, you have the
She
woman
won't let go of his
doesn't want to
arm.
let go,
Yeah.
and it's that realization, right?
Yeah, and he realizes,
and it's also the brilliance of the fucking movie, which is like the Riddler doesn't know that the Batman's not on his side.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and all those people, all of his cronies that are doing the mass shooting right at the end,
Dude,
are,
and I
are
wanna
there
talk
talking
about
about how their vengeance. And
Yeah.
they like Riddler and the Batman.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're
No,
kinda
we're
don't
all
understand.
the same team here.
Yeah.
We're saving the city, you know.
Yeah.
And he's not fucking wrong, you know. And that's the thing is like Riddler's not wrong, and neither are these fucking little incel dudes.
Yeah,
And like
the 4chan incel army.
I've always
that we got,
right. I've always thought it was weird, you know, that Joker and Two-Face and, you know, a lot of these guys have their themed villains and they're all
Yeah.
dressed like them and stuff. And it's like the way that they set it up in this, I live in a world where MAGA exists.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, or Antifa or any of these ideologies that latch onto a certain group of people
Yeah,
and then
radicalize them.
they radicalize.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's the way that they set it up where he's got like a little bullshit dark
Following,
web,
yeah,
whatever
mhm.
fucking Twitch stream
Yep.
going on. And everybody's like, no, yeah, man, I get it.
For
You know,
sure, yeah,
Alex
yeah.
Jones is a person here. Joe
Yeah,
Rogan, cult of personality is what
Yeah,
it is.
exactly.
And
No,
it's-
yeah.
And it's the first time they've ever really demonstrated it well.
Yeah, well,
You know,
I agree. You can't look at like the January 6th, you know, like fucking riots and insurrection, right?
Yeah.
And then look at Riddler and his cronies and his plan and be like, that's so
That's
unrealistic.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
come on.
All of
Like,
2020.
It takes the
Yeah.
internet to mobilize a bunch of people who all think that they're doing what
they're the
should
right
be
ones.
done,
Yeah.
right? It was really good. Like it was
timely
they
and
blew up a
poignant,
bunch
yeah.
of shit and made the fucking city flood, right?
Yeah, it was a little over the top, and honestly, I was ready for the movie to be over when they caught Riddler.
Yeah.
And then the big superhero crisis happened. But what I liked the most was he lost.
Yes, is that the city's still flooded, and it's like, but also it was like,
And then you get
it was
a
just
deeper
it
look.
was just to get everybody in one place to have a more effective mass shooting, which is like fucking wow, double whammy on this one, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that
Yeah.
goes back to Columbine.
Yeah,
He did,
right.
Didn't they do it the day of like a pep rally or something like that?
I
can't
my
remember.
Columbine knowledge is not that fresh.
Yeah, mine's a little, but I remember it was like a big day at the
Yeah.
school or something like that.
That's I mean the world we live in, quaint Columbine. So
Right.
so
But
anyway,
it was the same. I was just comparing the same
yeah,
logic.
exactly.
And it makes total sense. Like this is a movie that takes a lot of like real world struggles and it puts them to use in the film and it feels
That don't-
appropriate.
yeah, I was gonna
It
say
doesn't
that
feel
just-
overwrought. It doesn't feel
ham-fisted. It's not.
it's not Bowling for Columbine, you
No.
know, or even Christopher Nolan's attempt at it in Doctor
and like
Doctor
again,
Rises,
it's
Dark
not.
Knight Rises.
It's not. It's. It shouldn't. How do I even put this? It's not brave to be like, wow, fucking. Some people do bad things because they think they're misunderstood.
Yeah.
Or the world's not on their side.
No.
But it's also like, but it's wrong and bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a fucking crazy statement to be like, doing bad things is bad, but also sometimes they did it for reasons they thought was right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the Batman realized that he was not helping.
No, he was. Yeah, and I like that, and that goes back to my discussion about Pattinson wanting a kid Robin in the next movie, and that Robin would make a lot of sense going forward. That in the movie, the animated film New Frontier, where you're looking at all the heroes, like in the early days of America and stuff, like right in the 50s and 60s and stuff. You're looking at him at that time period. Batman starts off in that movie, again, a terrifying figure. It's also in the comics. I feel like I should address that New Frontier is
good.
also a comic.
It's good,
The
yeah.
comic's very good. Awesome. Anyway, drawn by Darwin Cook. Unfortunately, he passed. Fantastic cartoony old school style art. I love Darwin Cook's art. But anyway, Batman. In the beginning of it, he's terrifying. Everybody's scared of him and stuff like that. He saves a kid, and the kid, same reaction as the guy in the subway, like, don't hurt me, don't hurt me. And he's terrified of Batman. And with the next time you see him, Superman goes to talk to Batman, and Robin's working on the car. And he's just like, I didn't know you were out here. And he just says to him real quick, he's just like, I didn't do this to scare kids. And that you kind of get that kind of scene at the end of towards the end of the movie where that lady won't let go of his arm. And I feel like in the next movie, if we got a Robin, it would be a part of him being, him in his fucked up head being like, no, look, I'm hanging out with a kid.
Yeah,
it's cool.
it's all fine.
Yeah.
I'm a good guy.
But it also keeps up that controversial image. And I like that you get the news reports and newspaper clippings and headlines throughout the entire film, which happens a lot in Batman the Animated Series, Batman comic book. A lot of that is always there. Like the Gotham reacts, basically. Yeah. I think it's great. And even I started watching the Superman animated series the other day. And when Clark's first starting out as Superman, he goes home and he's talking to Mom, Pa Kent. And they're just like, no, I think it's great that you're doing, but you need to have a face out there. People need to know who you are so you don't look like that nut in Gotham. Yeah. And it's the world at large has opinions on Batman. And I like that is touched on in this. And it's a brilliant film. It's the best handling of it. It felt the most in line with the essence of the comic without being a direct interpretation of anything. You get the feel, and it's so good. And dude, you know what I found out? That grappling gun in his arm, it's really in his arm.
Really nice.
Yeah, no. Pattinson was talking about in an interview where it worked the first time they did it. He shoved it was when he was escaping, threw his arm up. And the thing actually came out and fired like it was supposed to. And he was blown away that it actually worked.
Damn, yeah.
No, I love the suit. I was back and forth on the suit, but all the close-ups on it, like he's really wearing like a jumpsuit underneath it, and then it's just armor bits, and you're watching him change, and then he's got the black ring makeup on his eyes.
That's actually there. They don't.
That was it. Yeah,
yeah.
They never show. They don't show him without it, and they're just like, no, that's just what the mask does. It's like, no, he's got charcoal around the eye. Yeah, he's got charcoal around the eyes or whatever.
Dude, with the suit early on after when they're in the apartment, right? When Gordon first brings him in, right?
Yeah.
To where the mayor was killed. Just the shots of like him standing there, like you said, like just being kind of a creep, right? Just standing there, and like you're getting like waist high shots of him just kind of scoping shit out. I was like, that looks so good. Like, damn, that suit looks fucking good.
It's so good because it's so like, again, it goes back to the practicality of it. And you can see where he's like put new armor bits where maybe he got stabbed there. So he put another plate there, and he's got the pads obviously over. It looks like he made it himself. It doesn't look like an action figure. I like that the mask has dings and dents all through it and stuff like that. Like, this is the front of his head is obviously fortified, but it's still like got scars on it. And he looks like he's like, no, I built this and I'll make some adjustments as I need it. Like he's got a new nose on there because he stitched a new nose. You can tell he stitched a new nose bit onto it. It's incredible. It's awesome. And the collar, a lot of people I know were talking about the Dracula collar. It makes sense. That thing's hard. It's hard right there. So he can't get a knife in the throat. Dude, I fucking love this movie.
It's really good. It blew me away.
I was trying to figure out what was on his arms, and it's spare bolts for the grapple gun.
Oh, yeah.
I love that he's got the taser in his hand. When he grabs that dude, he punches him and then just grabs him, and you can see it.
His utility belt is I have pouches on a belt.
Yeah, it's not this goofy like metal bit where he's got like little tiny compartments and then he pulls out like an inflatable raft or something. No, and then he's got like I think that's where the cord for the grapple hook is, that big pouch on his leg.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was like a canteen or something. I was like, well, he would need to hydrate. That makes sense.
Of course.
You know, I like that when he uses the wings, the whole suit just like collapses around him.
Yeah, the wings, it's just a fucking wingsuit.
It's just a wingsuit.
Yeah, that
it's
comes
just a wingsuit. And he has never had to use it before.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, it's not the cape is going and he's gliding.
I kind of wish it was the cape because that's such a cool image.
It's a good shot,
but
right?
At the same
it's
time,
an iconic shot. But but again, I'm not looking for that gritty realism, but the grounded aspect of
Grounded is a better way to put this movie
Yeah,
than realism or like it is the first time where somebody told me like,
'Cause
no, we're
it's
going for a more realistic style Batman. And aside from the gunfights and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, because it's an unreal sort of idea, right?
Yeah.
The Batman, but like the grounded in that world, him just having a fucking wingsuit to try to escape off of a building instead of fucking floating down superhero pose.
And what I love
Yeah.
was he was not cool with jumping off that building either.
No.
Like, and I like there's so much humanity in this Batman. He gets his ass kicked regularly, and I've seen complaints. I've heard complaints. They're like Batman gets his ass beat most of the movie, and it's like watch Batman the animated series. He gets his ass beat almost every episode. Batman Venom. The whole story is he wasn't strong enough, so he starts taking Venom to get stronger and everything.
He's just starting out.
And
like,
in this one,
is
yes,
an experiment.
I like it.
He even calls it an experiment, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's calling it an experiment. Yeah.
But like when he gets up there and he's trying to get away from the cops, and he gets up at that building and he looks at like, oh shit, and then he pulls the cord, suit pops out, and he's just like,
Yeah.
like he's got to be like, I have to jump off this goddamn building. And
Not 100% sure of when you pull the chute and when you keep
and
gliding,
and
fucks it up.
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
No, I like you. A lot of the Batman movies, it's hard to empathize with him, you know, because it's just he kind of always wins and everything's great to go. And in this one, he ultimately loses while still winning on a certain point of view.
Sure, yeah.
He gets his ass kicked. Nothing
I hate to keep
tested.
bringing up The Last Jedi again, but you can lose, and that can be helpful because you learn a lesson, right?
Yes, and that's again, like I said, when we were talking about the suit, how you can tell he's put it together in different areas. Like you can tell he's learned lessons in each night that he's gone out. Each time he goes on patrol in these early days, he's like, I need to put something here. I need to put something here. Oh crap, I got to fix this bit. You know, and it's a lot of that, dude, and I love it. You can there's something that you can associate more with this Batman, I think, than the other ones where he kind of rarely fucks up, and when he does, it's not that big a deal. And in this one, you can tell that he is fucked up.
They might fuck, he might fuck up because they're playing it for laughs, right? That's kind of like what they
like
do.
I mean, I still do. It's one of my favorite bits in Batman Begins when he's first going out and he's just got the balaclava on his face, and he goes to jump to the fire escape and he biffs it and lands in the dumpster or something like that.
Super good.
Yeah, and in this one, you get a lot.
Sorry, because I think that's right after that scene, right?
It's a little bit later. It's when he finally gets like the real suit.
The real
and
suit.
everything.
That's right. But he's always just in like alleys jumping off of fire escapes for most of that movie. So
yeah, and then in like later on, he's swinging from buildings and stuff. And I like that in this one, the grapple hook is just for quick escapes.
It's just to get you up.
Yeah, it's just to get you out of. He's not Spider-Man in his way through the city. And he's not gliding on his cape or anything like that.
Did he zip line across any rooftops?
He zip lined.
I don't remember if he did it.
I think he zip lined toward the end of the movie when he's going into the sporting arena. Yeah. And I love the entrance because it's such a cool shot of the glass and the fire.
Oh, yeah.
He comes down, he's holding the cape up to slow him down.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Right. They did
He doesn't do it for dramatic.
Right.
He does it because he's just like, I got to use something.
I totally forgot. You're right. They did do it once, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he comes through the building.
Here's the thing. Like,
He comes down through the building and just lands and everything. But I was just like, really? All these people are getting shot? And he's just like, I'm going to put this explosive here.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this one. That should, right? Just poo, 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 poo.
Yeah.
That's going to work.
It's going to work. It's going to be badass.
It's going to be so freaking cool. Bang. Oh, shit. I got to get in there. You know?
I really want to see this movie again because it's so long and it was so surprising to me.
I was really thinking
Had
about
its
going yesterday.
Complexity and just overall goodness. I was so taken aback that some of it's, a little hazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing. We're rambling a lot.
Yes.
And I'm jumping all over the place.
Sure, but it's kind of just like, we're gushing, but we have good things to back them up.
The movie's so good. Go watch it. You might have some nitpicks and stuff, but it does not affect the entire film.
Like I'm willing to be even a little bit more hyperbolic than Josh. It's damn near perfect. Like it's very, very
No.
close.
I'll hear that.
Yeah,
I'll hear
it's
that.
very close
Yeah.
to a perfect film. There are not very many films that I Back to the Future, I think Drive,
Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, Freddy Got Fingered is definitely up there. But like
Joe Dirt 2.
Joe Dirt 2. If you can't say anything bad about it, but no, there's not very many films I would call perfect, like like Blade Runner 2049, right? But even that,
that's a damn near perfect
even
movie.
that,
I
every
like-
time I get so mad, or I'm just like I want to put in the corn cob TV thing where she's like, "Oh, you thought it was you, didn't you?" And it's just like, "I didn't fucking do this. I didn't do shit." You
guys told me to think that. Yeah.
You guys put that memory in my brain.
We
Fuck
need to go
you.
back and talk about Blade Runner 2049. So I think we've said this a million times because we
yeah.
were so drunk by the time we talked about it.
It's true. But
No, oh, dude, speaking of Blade
but it's
Runner,
damn near perfect.
Speaking of Blade Runner, Black Lotus is on HBO Max. I will reserve comment until you've seen it.
I've watched the first episode.
I watched the first two.
and I was like,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And I watched the English dubbed version, obviously.
Yeah.
So I was like, So
The city looks great.
yeah, of course, yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the animation in general. It just
There's
seems
something
like that. It
about
seems like it
yeah.
was supposed to be a short,
Sure.
and they've tried to stretch it out for
Yeah.
I think it's like 8 episodes or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
didn't. I watched it because I had a login or something. I don't know how I watched it, but when it first came out, I watched the first episode and was like,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch this.
But
maybe
anyway,
if it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, no. Anyway, The Batman. The Batman is the Batman as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
I will never
I'm
hate
a big Batman Forever fan, but yeah. This is definitely better than Batman Forever. Oh, the last time the Riddler was around too. Yeah.
Last
This
time
is a
around.
much better Riddler than is it?
Yes.
Is it though?
Yes, because Jim
No,
Carrey's the
goes-
Riddler.
So,
is
so,
just
so,
the
so hang on.
Joker.
This is actually not the first time I've posed a question of who did it better in terms of Jim Carrey, right? Because I said, well, who was a better Loki, Jim Carrey in The Mask, or Tom Hiddleston?
Tom
right?
Hiddleston. Yeah.
And all right,
I had to think.
Paul
about it.
Dano.
I had to think about it.
Paul Dano, or Jim Carrey.
Paul Dano.
Okay.
Paul Dano all day because he's smart and he's arrogant about being smart. He's not wacky and over the top and ultimately not really doing anything. Just out
But
there
let's just
saying stupid
hang on.
puns.
Hang on.
All right, no.
Jim Carrey was actually Edward Nygma, and they never gave Paul Dano the name Nygma.
I loved that.
Okay.
I loved that where he's got 2 different IDs and he's just like, which one are you? And he's just like, I don't know.
We didn't even talk about Paul Dano's performance really. Them
Threatening, intimidating.
yeah, them talking
unsettling.
in Arkham and how they played the whole him just kept going, Bruce Wayne, and he's just standing there like fuck.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and then you realize he doesn't know it's Bruce Wayne.
This guy has no, I don't think he has any.
He's just mad that Bruce Wayne's still alive.
Yeah, he's just. We almost got him.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Wait, what? Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
Dude, bro,
what?
you can go finish the job though. And he's like, wait a minute, this is crazy.
Yeah, no, I loved that bit where he's just like, we're in this together. You didn't. Oh, you're not as smart as I thought you were. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, my strength is all up here. He's like,
Yeah.
and you know, and it's
Yeah.
he's so arrogant, and so he's a great Riddler because he's arrogant and he loves, and you know what I believe he does know. I believe he does know
Okay.
because the Riddler loves a puzzle.
Okay.
And he loves having all the answers. So he's not going to let Bruce know that he knows. And he's not going to let anybody else know Because he's got the knowledge. He knows everything.
Yeah,
And
see, I mean, it's
in Riddler's head, he knows the truth about everything.
sure it's fun, but like it kind of doesn't check out right, like because he tried to kill him and he needed the Batman's help to get Falcone out into the lights and what have you. So like, it's fun. I get it. I do like that concept, right? Maybe he fucking the light bulb goes off while he's sitting in Arkham, right?
He could have
But,
known and forgot because
yeah.
like Riddler's not as smart as he thinks he is.
Yeah. So no, he did great.
I loved him in the movie. He was so good. I love how when he starts yelling, there's a franticness to it and
yeah, like his little fucking panic attack that he was having, right? Like his
well, even just
hissy
when
fit,
he's
right?
even when he's on the phone and everything like that, where he's just like, "You have to do," you know.
Yeah, good. Jim Carrey, probably not as good.
No, because he's just the Joker.
It's was it fucking
Thanks for shutting me down, honestly. When because I get all fired up and I'm just like, I have opinions and you have to listen. And sometimes it's appropriate. But when it's about something like this, you have to shut me up at a certain point.
oh man. Yeah, I'll agree with you. Yeah, it's fucking the Batman. You got to go see it. You got to see it you don't have to see it in theaters. It'll be out on HBO
I think,
Max in about a month.
It's going to be streaming April 19th,
Something
I want to say.
like that,
yeah.
But if you can't go to a theater, it was nice.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It's there's some bit of the movie that really lends itself to being seen on the big screen, but for the most part, yeah, just watch it on your TV at home.
Also, if you get lucky, like it's a quieter movie, right? It's kind of a slow, quiet movie.
Yes.
If you're lucky, like we were, dude, we were in a packed theater, dead silent.
It was the best theater experience I've had in a long time.
It was awesome. Everybody was very cool in there, and everybody having a good time, right? I think everybody was captivated. Right?
I think the only thing that was
like there was murmurings, and then as the movie kept going, it just was quiet.
Well, and even the murmurings, like I'm fine with murmurings because people are like, "Well, what's he
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
Did you see that?" You know, and it's a lot of that going on. It's not like, "Oh man, when is the Joker coming?" You know, it's not...
Spider-Man's alive like everybody else. Yay!
Yeah, nobody's clapping.
Like no, everybody came back except Spider-Man.
No, the only thing that
was the last thing that the Hulk did because it was funny.
The only thing that got on my nerves was the guy that was filming the movie while we were watching it. He was way up there, and he kept seeing his light come on and everything. And I was just like, "Really, dude? Come on!"
Social media, it's destroying the world. Anyway,
hot
take.
Not where I was going.
Yeah, right. Well, no, because that's what everybody's doing. He's not pirating it. He's like letting all his fucking
because it kept coming on and coming out.
He's letting all his fucking friends know he's at the Batman.
Yeah. No, we wait till we're recording to give away all the cool
shit. If he was
shit.
pirating it, I would just be like, yeah, good for him. But God, could you imagine watching a cam of this movie? You're like, what's happening?
Dude, because the movie's dark enough, dude, and then you're watching it to it. Oh, God.
Oh, man. Anyway. Yeah, I think it's I'm going to bring it back, Josh. It's just kind of the best. Right?
Dude, it is the best.
It's just the best.
Dude, I think we've got like maybe 5 movies that we've called the best on here.
True.
Buster Scruggs, Blade Runner 2049, Logan, the Batman, and then there's one other one that I'm
feel like there's probably one more. We'll have to think of.
There's one that I'm forgetting. But yeah, it's definitely on the Mighty Movie Pods.
Yeah. It's on the top 5.
10, top 5, top 10
5 for sure.
Yeah, it's my number 1.
And again, fucking the Batman is overall best when he's fucking disco dancing or whatever. Like I like
when he's doing the
and fucking trying to find his shark repellent and he can't get rid of a bomb. Like that's when he's at his best, right? You got Robin being like, "Look at these drunkards. I'd rather die than lose my
self-control."
And this made me change my mind. So
Ryan,
that's how good it is.
Have we ever talked about the almost human nobility of the porpoise?
Of the porpoise. He sacrificed himself to save us.
Watch the Adam West Batman movie. It's so good.
So good.
It's so good.
Comedy classic. Honestly, it should
be considered a comedy. It's up there with Airplane.
Yeah.
And all that other old stuff. It's so good.
But, that was a little all over the place, but we just wanted to gush about it for a while. You should go see it. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, you know the drill. We are Mighty Fish Productions on YouTube. That's where you can find our original series, Classic Catch Up. Maybe there'll be something on there soon. I'm having a baby, so we'll see.
It's good. Yeah.
We should have utilized our time better. Twitch.tv/Mighty Fish Productions. There will more than likely be stuff on there. We're playing stuff. You know how it is. At Mighty Movie Pod on Twitter is where you will find out when a new episode goes up or any videos or anything happens. So follow us there, and we'll be back. There will be another day.
There will be.
All right, say bye, Josh.
Bye, Josh.
I'm
so goddamn funny.
You did not disappoint.
I'm so goddamn funny.
Goodbye.
Bye.